Alright, so trying to getting closer to stuffing this thing in there. Trying to think of where I left off on some items. You know, I want to pin this engine down a little bit better. I mean, I got it flanged down up in here, welded up and good, and I reinforced the bottom of it. The bolts actually are larger bolts that are in here now. They're metric, but they're actually larger, so I had to fish up some metric bolts on the bottom to attach it. But I got this front flange turned up here, but see back here, I was going to come off the alternator, and I'm starting to cut me up some brackets with my plasma cutter. So something like this. You can see what I got there. See if I can tie this down better, because I know that the rock doctor there, the Argo guy, was saying they were breaking some frames on the Avenger. So I thought, well, heck, if I get this thing welded up both sides real nice and get the angle set up, you know, to me it looked like this clearance was no problem inside here. I thought I could make myself, you know, tie this front end down a little bit better too, and I'd feel a little more comfortable. Maybe I can, you know, zip something across in here, just tag it along there to give this, you know, some more support. But maybe just that along there, because it does look like it's going to sit, and you know, that bolt in here and around through there and take up a lot of the load. But I still may pin across here, because it almost looks like this little inflection point right through here. So, and as far as the clutch, this is my clutch looks like, right? I don't have them 3 bolts like they have in some of the Conquests, where they got these little Allen head screws in 3 spots. I got a little set screw that tightens up, and I got a little spanner type of nut here, you know, that you can turn around. So anyways, I just keep taking short video clips of what I'm doing here to get this reinforced and all that good stuff. Alright, over and out. Alright, here's this bracket I'm putting together. See, I tried to tie this corner in a little better here with some welding, because it was a natural kind of relief cut in it like this, and I figure if I'm going to go to the extent to reinforce this end of the engine frame, I'll put another one on this side too, so I have one here, one here. Now I'm just going to paint it up. I'm not, you know, the engine's already on there, so I just splashed some paint on there, but that's kind of a work in progress where I'm at right now. See, right here looks like a natural hinge spot to me, so what I'm doing is I'm going to, you know, just mark the back side of this to cut the radius out here, you know, where the racket is there. But all, you know, all the loads, you got the centrifugal forces on the clutch, and we're pinning it down here and here at this end, you know, between those 2 locations there. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of weld this up here, so it's going to stack this up vertically like an I-beam and help with the, you know, keep that strong so that doesn't overly flex and want to fracture the steel. Same thing on this side, I'll do the same thing. I tell you what, Grizzly Adams, if you don't have a plasma cutter, this is the Lotus CT520D. Made, they get it from Korea, and it's going right through the distributor of the, you know, the seller, and it's pretty reasonable. It's a TIG welder, a plasma cutter, and an arc welder. But I only use like the TIG for like aluminum or stainless steel, and I use the plasma cutter. But I only paid like $600 for it, and it works really good. And then obviously I got a decent, you know, Miller MIG welder. But for doing stuff like this, I mean, just for chopping up brackets, boy, I tell you what, it's well worth the money, you know, because to make these things, torches get so much heat and everything as you're using them too. But I would highly recommend that. Anyways, here's kind of what I'm going through now, cutting the shapes out up in here, and I'll clean that with a grinder, weld that on both sides. And I don't know. There's one side. There's that bracket there that I put to tag the front. You know, I was going to do this side, but I thought, you know, if I ever take this bracket off, it's going to be really hectic to get if I do both sides. So, and then this is reinforcement on the other side. Again, same area where it's got that little, like we used to do finite element analysis, where we build a math surface model on a computer, and it will show the hot spots. So obviously, like I say, if we're pinning it down up there and back here, the deflection point is going to be right in through here with all the. So if I just increase the thickness of this metal, it's going to help quite a bit, you know. So I mean, I got some plastic up here. I want to butt it right up under, but it's just going to help, you know, kind of the I-beam strength of that, you know. So all right. So I got this guy here. So like I say, you know, I just welded it under through there. Kind of built it up a little bit more right on there where the actual hinge line is, because this used to have a bracket across here. I had to chop it off to let this shroud kind of hang over, you know, this engine, you know. So there used to, like I say, there used to be a little bit of an angle bracket coming up on top of this flange, I guess, on the power plate bracket. So anyways, I'm going to paint this up, put some Loctite in there. Here's the other side. So I'm convinced that at least I made it a ton stronger. Okay. Alright, so found me some high heat black I just threw on there. It dries a little quicker, but so anyways, these brackets are welded up. I loaded this one up with some Loctite and put an external lock washer on it. You can barely see it. I wanted the most threads I get. They're a little bit flatter, so yeah, so all the bracketry here is all welded up. I think I'm ready to go back down. Well, another thing I had to do too is I had to turn this. To me, looks like the actual computer for the engine, and I had to turn it. It was bolted more perpendicular, so I just put another self-tapper up here and just turned it because it was in the way of his ducting and everything like that. So, and had the rotors turned, milled slightly. So I think I'm ready to go back in. I know this duct here is going to be a little tight turn, but I'll get it on there. And like I said, I got to put some chains up front here. A couple of batteries. I got the auxiliary battery too, but it's going to sit in a couple years. I'm just going to put a couple new batteries in it. And that's it. That's it, I think. Probably think of something else, but I loosened this up, and that was the unit I was telling you is a little bit taller. You know, this air cleaner system, but you know, with putting the chain back in to load it up, back in the engine compartment, you know, I just kind of loosened it up. I don't want to crack nothing.